Since the foundation of Rangers in 1873, its stature and power has grown, making it one of the most famous clubs in the world. As a result, the footballers who were fortunate enough to play at Ibrox had to be a special breed, men who upheld the tradition of the club and would give their all to win.
There's McCoy in the clear, a chance for Rangers. Here's McCoy, they must score!
That look obvious, he gets it across and there's Cooper, it's a great goal. Haley. Oh, a great goal! A fantastic goal for Rangers by Mark Haley.
Gascoigne now, can he produce some magic? Still it's Gascoigne. Oh yes! A tremendous goal by Gascoigne!
And then there's Johnston here.
That heritage led Rangers to instigate a tribute to the Rangers greats, an award ceremony like no other to honour the greatest players who wore the light blue jersey. For everyone connected with Rangers, from members of staff to supporters, it was a unique occasion. The night brought together famous players from the past, such as Jock Tiger Shaw, Willie Woodburn and Ralph Brand, Jimmy Miller, Jim Baxter and Sandy Jardine. Overall, there were 150 Rangers players in attendance, each one signing a framed canvas which was auctioned for charity.
We were running a series in the Rangers publications, the Matchday magazine, just to highlight the careers of the many great players who've been here at Ibrox over the years. And the idea was born that we should try and get these guys together for one special night to honour every single one of them, but especially the one or two who've made a very important contribution to Rangers Football Club. And what we decided to do then was to involve the supporters and ask them what they thought, and we've asked them to pick their top team and indeed the greatest ever Ranger.
And so almost 1,000 guests from almost every era of the club's history were present at the Thistle Hotel for the awards ceremony. It was to be an unforgettable night for all of them. The first award was to be one of the most difficult to choose, the greatest goal.
When you think of the hundreds, the thousands of goals that have been scored in the last 126 years, how can you possibly pick out the best? I suppose the video age helps a little bit. Those great goals of the 1890s and the 1920s, I'm afraid, are confined only to memory. But a decision has been made, and we can now enjoy what your committee decided is the greatest Rangers goal of all, from a shot lead of 6. Enjoy these 6, and which one would you choose?
Side forward Johnston. Well, I don't know how McLean missed that one. Somebody's foot stopped that one. And it's a goal by Johansson. Well, there it is. Johansson, the first Danish player ever to appear in a cup final.
The long throw, looking for Hateley's flick on. That's McCoy through the acrobatic effort. McCoy does it for Rangers.
Haley. Oh, a great goal! A fantastic goal for Rangers by Mark Haley.
Butcher have gone up. It's launched in field by Stevens. There's Butcher. Back with Wilkins. Absolutely magnificent from Ray Wilkins. 10 minutes to half time.
The goal coming up by Dave Cooper was the best of the game. I only hope Rangers have Cooper's left foot well insured.
Tough old choice, isn't it? Very tough choice. In the end, though, the decision of the committee, and I can't argue with them, the Dryborough Cup final of 1979, the greatest goal, Davy Cooper.
Davy was one of the most skillful players to play for Rangers. His legendary left foot, shown here at its best, could outwit any defence, not only providing goals, but in this case, scoring an unforgettable one. As one of several surprises on the evening, David Murray and Donald Findlay had decided to instigate a Rangers Hall of Fame.
The first is a man whose name is very much still synonymous with Ibrox. His name adorns a suite which is used by our club sponsors, McEwen's Lager, and his portrait hangs proudly in that suite. In the Rangers trophy room in one of the cabinets, one of our prized possessions are the many medals that he collected as a player. Truly one of the Rangers greats of all time, Mr. Bob McPhail.
Bob McPhail scored in the 1928 Cup final defeat of Celtic, ending the 25-year hoodoo in the competition. He also held the league scoring record of 235 goals until 1995, when it was broken by Ali McCoist.
The second is a man whose nickname perhaps tells you all you would need to know about him. He truly epitomised everything of the Rangers fighting spirit, respected by the Rangers supporters and by the supporters and players of every club he played against. It's tremendous when you go around supporters' functions and this man you still meet, and he's still popular with people who are only in their teens because they rightly know the name of Jock Tiger Shaw.
Jock Shaw, the great full-back and captain, played 230 games from 1946 until 1953, and he's still remembered for his never-say-die attitude and his tremendous determination.
And ladies and gentlemen, the third and final member of the new Rangers Hall of Fame is for me a very special person to announce to you, because as a laddie he was my late father's favourite player, and he admired him because of his courage, and he was one of those men who made Rangers what they are. He had the never accept defeat attitude, and with players like him it's small wonder this club is as great as it is. Ladies and gentlemen, the third member of the Hall of Fame, the truly great Mr. Willie Woodburn.
Willie Woodburn was arguably the greatest centre-half of his generation. He had a fiery temperament. Defeat for his club was taken personally. However, he won 4 league championship titles and 4 Scottish Cups, and epitomised what being a Ranger was all about. The next award was for the greatest non-Scot. It was presented by former Ranger Jimmy Nicholl.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's a great honour for me to be here tonight. As you know, our illustrious career at Rangers. 1983, I signed for John Gregg on Thursday night and he resigned on Friday morning. 1986, great, happy days, went back, and then Graham Souness and Walter Smith turned around and said to me in the summer of '88, "Do you fancy taking reserves?" I said, "Yes, I'd love that." And Graham says, "Good job, we've just bought Gary Stevens." But it is a great honour, it's a great night, and it's great meeting all the players. The nominations are for the best non-Scot: 1, Mark Hateley; 2, Paul Gascoigne; and 3, Brian Laudrup.
Yes, Hateley to declare it's a great chance for Rangers. Hateley against Bonner. Brilliant play from Hateley. Rangers take the lead. 55 minutes to the match gone. That's good play by Selenko. Avoids as Gascoigne racing through the middle. Great play for Rangers. And Gascoigne has scored. It's a magnificent goal by Gascoigne.
Cross, a good one, and hits Laudrup. It's a classic from Laudrup.
And the winner is Brian Laudrup.
When Brian arrived at Ibrox in 1994, he immediately made the supporters take notice, from his debut against Motherwell until he left in 1998. His skill was breathtaking, not only tearing defences apart, but providing chances for his teammates.
Robertson towards Laudrup, he's on against McManus, he's still on his feet. And this is Jury the fourth. This is Laudrup. Van Bossen says when he wants the ball played, Evan won't let him go there, and Laudrup does it by himself. Chance for the second. Oh, that's great play by Laudrup.
Trying to get a run going here. They'll have a go. Superb goal by Brian Laudrup. Laudrup starts a run through the middle. From where he's here, the goalkeeper's committed himself. This surely must be a goal. Brilliant finish by Laudrup.
Such entertaining and vital performances have already made Brian the type of footballer who will be remembered for decades as a great Rangers player.
There's a slip by O'Neill, and Laudrup's away, and Rangers look for a goal and get one! In the 8th minute from Brian Laudrup.
Well, I'm speechless. I said when I got the Player of the Year award a couple of years back that I was very proud, but I must say I'm even more proud tonight. If you look at the number of foreign players that played for this unique club, then it's fantastic to be chosen as one of the best players, non-Scot players, to play for this great club. So I want to thank you once again and enjoy the evening. Thank you.
And our next category is that of the greatest goalkeeper to play for Rangers. Again, a tough old choice.
Robert now getting boxed into a corner. That's a good piece of defending by Miller, really. It has taken the stinger of that Celtic attack. That's Sullivan. The low one in. And a fine save from Peter McCloy, denies Mike Conroy.
So, Gascoigne's already had his penalty save for Rangers. It's Pierre Van Hooydonk to keep his nerve. The Celtic can keep them top of the table. And Gorham has matched Kerr's achievement. Extraordinary.
And the winner is Andy Gorham.
Andy Gorham is one of the most popular players ever to play for Rangers. And even though he now plays for Premier League rivals Motherwell, he's still treated as a hero by the Ibrox fans.
Thank you very much. First of all,
I'm really pleased to see so many friends that we've been here all the years that we've played together, past and present. It's an honour and a pleasure to be with so many great legends, past and present. I'd like to wish the club all the very best in the future. Thank you very much.
During Andy's career at Ibrox, he proved time and again his worth to the club, demonstrating how a goalkeeper in many ways can be just as important as the greatest striker.
Setting it up for Galloway. Queuing up in the middle for this. Here's Collins. Setting it up for Paul McStay. The great effort by McStay, and the save from Andy Gorham denies the Celtic captain.
It's a shot one to McStay. Marvellous save by Andy Gorham from Darius Delchek.
Richardson with a free kick. McLeish has gone forward, so is Irvin. Matalainen nodding it across. And a great save again from Gorham. Ian just holds his head, he can't believe it. Well, Andy Gorham undoubtedly the Rangers' hero in the first half.
It's Clark who strikes it. That's a marvellous save by Andy Gorham.
Andy gave his all each time he played for Rangers, but it was his performances against Celtic that supporters will remember best.
McStay picks up the loose ball. Vata free on the right. McStay again. That's for Vata. Good position for Celtic. Now Paul McStay. Big right save again from Gorham. McStay can scarcely believe it.
Goalie challenge as well. McStay's there for Celtic. That's good play by McStay. The chance is out for Collins. That's a magnificent save by Andy Gorham.
There's Van Hooydonk. Great save by Gorham. A chance though for Celtic. Andreas Tom, Rudy Vata has scored against Rangers from a free kick at the end of the last season, and John Collins makes a habit of it. He's over the ball. There's Collins. Magnificent save from Gorham.
Played off by Tom, it's Collins again. Good play by Collins. Tom, a nice change of direction, challenged by Goff. This is Tosh McKinlay, that's a great cross. What an incredible save by Andy Gorham from Van Hooydonk.
Andy Gorham was a true blue. Apart from outstanding technical ability, he also knew what playing for the jersey was all about, and rightfully took the award of greatest goalkeeper.
We've made presentations to the greatest non-Scots. We've made presentations to the greatest goalkeeper. I think it's time now we made the presentation to the greatest striker. Again, an enormously difficult choice. And to introduce the greatest striker in Rangers history, former captain Terry Butcher.
It's quite fitting that I should be nominating or awarding the top striker, as I was the person who scored the most goals past Graham Souness's side in my 4 years. And we were actually talking about we should have an own goals award, but then Richard Goss said I would probably get 1, 2 and 3. But the nominations for the striker are Mark Haitley, Derek Johnson, and Ali McCoist.
That's McLean looking towards the penalty area. Bit of an upset. It's away by McGrain that time. It was Derek Johnson letting fly. Now Quinton Young. And that's a great goal.
And this time it's Albert's on the chase. Tested Celtic already once with a driven shot. This one's McCoist's! Does McCoist has scored? 1-0 to Rangers, and it's the old stager who's done it again for Walter Smith. How often has this man been the scourge of Celtic?
And the winner is that old stager, Ali McCoist.
You don't have to. Ladies and gentlemen, if I could be serious just for a wee minute. That result today, I hope, finally dispels the conspiracy theory that me and my wee pal don't try against the old firm. On a more serious note, my best non-Scot would have been Stuart McCall. You'll get your mention somewhere, wee man. But in all seriousness, to stand here before Derek Johnson, Ralphie Brand, Jimmy Miller, Mark Haitley, Colin Steen, Mr. McPhail, I just, honest to God, cannot believe it. And thanks very, very, very much. Thank you.
Ali McCoist, MBE, is the most prolific striker ever to play for Rangers. He broke every goal-scoring record in the club's history and became a hero to the Rangers supporters.
Didn't fall kindly for Miller. Gascoigne. Great chance there. It's a goal for Rangers. Scored by McCoist.
From his earliest days, Ali had shown himself to be an opportunist striker, able to be in the right place at the right time. Some say he was extremely lucky, but his record shows that luck had little to do with it.
Down to the ball, beating Grant. Here's McCoist. Magnificent goal! Ali McCoist! With Ferguson, soon as it's free in the middle. Got a lot of space. He also has Cooper free on the left. Now a chance for Rangers. Cooper taking on McGrain. That's McCoist! A brilliant goal from Rangers!
His ability to get behind defences was remarkable, even if sometimes his finishing was not always in the textbook style.
Vinicum. Helped on by Johnston, the chance for McCoist! That settles it!
Even when consigned to the bench, he could be relied on to conjure up some magic. When he broke his leg in April 1993, the fairy tale continued when he returned as a substitute in the 1993 League Cup final.
A long throw, looking for Hateley's flick on. Tweed is with him. That's McCoist with the acrobatic effort! McCoist does it for Rangers! He scores in the most spectacular fashion, and Rangers go in front again.
Ali scored many remarkable and important goals against many clubs throughout his career, but the Old Firm clashes sharpened his killer instincts.
O'Neill forced to hurry there. It breaks from McCall. He has McCoist inside. That's for Ali McCoist. And Rangers are ahead. Incensed by that is McCoist in the clear. A chance for Rangers. Here's McCoist. He must score. Rangers take the lead. Here's Dale Gold. This is a good chance for Rangers. Right on a half-time whistle. Cross to Hadley. Here's McCoist.
There's a good bit of movement to the far side of the box. Gascoigne strikes it in. And it's well. Super Ali does it again. He's been in the field only a few minutes. It was Gascoigne who provided the cross. And McCoist with yet another header.
And this time it's Albert's on the chase. He's tested Celtic already once with a driven shot. This one's McCoist's!
Well, it is. McCoist has scored.
1-0 to Rangers, and it's the old stager who's done it again for Walter Smith. How often has this man been the scourge of Celtic?
By 1998, he may have been an old stager, but Ali McCoist showed from his first goal to his last that Rangers will always be in his heart. When supporters come to see a match, they naturally concentrate on the 11 players on the pitch. However, to achieve success at a club as huge as Rangers, certain individuals steer the organisation towards their goal. Even the chairman of Rangers, David Murray, who knows everything about his club, is someone who can still be surprised on occasion.
I think it is important to mention this. In this era of commercialism, a need to have big business associated with a club, I said in my introduction tonight that if anybody gave me money for the charities, I would keep it away from this man, because I can tell you he wouldn't want it, because he has never taken a penny from Rangers Football Club for himself. He's not in it for profit. He's only been in it because of his great love for our great club. He paid me a tremendous honour many years ago, and it's the greatest thrill in my life every single time I walk into Ibrox Stadium and go up the marble staircase. And that's because of the chairman of Rangers Football Club, David Murray.
I'd like to welcome everybody here tonight, all Rangers greats and supporters who helped me with the success. And to show I'm not a biased man, I'd even like to welcome Jerry McNee here tonight. But anyway, it's a great privilege tonight and a great honour for me. I care passionately about Rangers. I couldn't even eat last night. I hate defeat. I know you all hate defeat. And I know with Dick and the team of people here, we're going to retain our championship. I feel humble. You know, I know Johnny Hubbard as a young boy in Ayr, the team that rejected me. When he played for Ayr Cricket Club, and I see Bob McPhail and all the Rangers greats here tonight, I'm very humble. I'm delighted to receive this honour. I don't look for honour. I'm only there when there's problems. I don't look for success. I just want Rangers to be successful, and that's all that matters to me. Thank you very much.
The next winner of our lifetime Oscars is somebody, however, who has not just served Rangers. If you go throughout the world of football, the European scene, he is somebody whose name is well known to everybody who is involved in the administration of the game of football. He is hugely respected. He is somebody, if he was not involved with Rangers Football Club, would certainly be working in the very highest echelons of our game. You may not realise it, but the Champions League is his baby, his invention. He created it. And that's the calibre of the person that we have in the background at Ibrox, and it's right that we honour them and we honour him tonight. He's also a great personal friend. I know he will be a bit embarrassed by this, but Sec, come and get your award. Campbell Ogilvie.
Well, I'm speechless. Obviously, we're here tonight for the awards to the players, to the greatest players that have ever played for this club. I certainly didn't expect anything, Donald. I've been with the club for 20 years. I've really enjoyed it. I'm totally speechless. I'd just like to thank everyone I've worked with at the club over these years. And I know this is a night for the players. I'm quite happy in the background. But again, thank you very much. I really appreciate this.
Our third Lifetime Contribution Award is for a truly special man. He served this club in every single capacity possible and did so at the highest level. He was somebody who, as with our present chairman, became synonymous with Rangers Football Club. He would only be interested in success, and he would tolerate no criticism from outside of anything or anybody connected with the club he loved. When I joined the board at Ibrox, the very first time I turned up for a game, it was a tremendous thrill, very exciting. And I went home that night and I was asked by the family, well, what happened, what went on, who was there? And all I could say time and time again was that I met this man who I knew for all too short a time, but he was kind, he was generous, and he was giving to me. And I came to love him dearly, as everybody did who ever met him. I went home that night and was proud to say, I met Willie Waddle.
Willie Waddle played his first reserve match in 1936, aged 15. He went on to become manager, then vice-chairman, and was connected with the club until his final days in 1992.
In fact, Willie Waddle instilled into myself and probably into John what it is and what it means to be a Ranger. He made sure that people understood the tradition and the heritage of the club, and I think that's very, very important. He had a huge influence when he came back to the club. you'd have to say the club were a wee bit in the doldrums. They were drifting, standards were slipping a wee bit. He got back and came back to the club, and he put it back on the rails. Weeded out a lot of things and got it back to what it should be, but also installed in everybody what it means to be a Rangers player, what is expected.
After the tragedy of 1971, in which 66 people died when Stairway 13 collapsed, Willie Waddell vowed it would never happen again and built most of today's magnificent stadium. He led the club to its only European trophy in 1972, and as a player he won 4 championships and 2 Scottish Cups. It's hard to underestimate his contribution to the club throughout his lifetime. Everyone in the auditorium was moved when Willie's widow, Hilda, accepted his award.
Willie would have been so proud and honoured to be here tonight. Rangers were his life, completely. I know he felt it a great privilege to serve Rangers as a player, as a manager, as a director. Everything was a joy to him. He just loved, and he would be so proud tonight. And his family are so proud to be here tonight too. Thank you very much.
Earlier in the evening, Rangers were honoured by the City of Glasgow when Lord Provost Pat Lally presented Donald Finlay with a trophy to commemorate the extraordinary 9-in-a-row achievement.
As you know, the building not far from here, the concert hall that you put a lot of effort into, became known as Lally's Pally. And as you were buying the drink tonight, we thought this might appropriately be called Lally's Swally, so thank you very much for that. And on behalf of the club, all I want to say is a very special thank you to some special guys, and that was every single player who was involved in that magnificent 9-in-a-row run. The one thing about every one of them was they didn't know when they were beaten, and that's why we were so successful, and thanks to them all, and that's what it means to be part of Rangers Football Club. Thank you, and thank you guys.
Let's move on then. The greatest Rangers team. Think about it. Pick 11 players of the hundreds of the thousands who have worn the light blue over more than a century. And I should point out that all of these 11 players will receive a very special memento, a medal, the classic Rangers V-neck strip with a commemorative badge, and that is something very special indeed. The goalkeeper in the greatest Rangers team of all played 258 times for the club, won 5 League Championship medals, 3 Scottish Cup medals, 2 League Cup medals. Andy Gorham!
Oh, nice change of direction, challenged by Goff. This is Tosh McKinlay, that's a great cross. What an incredible save by Andy Gorham from Van Hooydonk.
At number 2, a player who played 674 times for Rangers. He scored 77 goals as well. 3 League Championships, 5 Scottish Cup, 5 League Cup, 1 European Cup Winners' Cup. It could only be Sandy Jardine.
Sent forward, Smith. Jardine. That's over Jardine. It's a goal for Rangers. With 5 minutes to half time. That makes it Rangers 1, Celtic 0.
Personally for me, I think that's one of the greatest honours I've ever achieved. I've been very fortunate to win the Scottish Player of the Year twice, but I think when you get voted by 50,000 supporters, it really struck home to me when I seen the people that were coming into the room. You know, you had Willie Woodburn, you had Jock Shaw, you had Bob McPhail, Jimmy Miller, Ralphie Brand, Jim Baxter, all these sort of players, and just to be in the company of these players and then be selected for the greatest team is something I'm really, really proud of.
Sandy's selection was an obvious choice. Only John Gregg had made more appearances for the club. A brilliant fullback, he represented his country 38 times and in 2 World Cups. Although primarily a defender, he was also able to play sweeper, providing chances for his forwards.
Derek Johnston gets number 4. The goal stemming from Jardine. Jardine held off the challenge of Caldwell, and there, when the cross came over, was Johnston swooping onto that one to give Allen no chance.
Sandy was part of the teams which won trebles in 76 and 78. His cultured and dependable style of play allowed Rangers to attack with confidence. However, he could also score on his own.
No mistake with that one. Jardine fully slots it home. Thompson Allen went to the right and the ball went left.
To Jardine. Here's Russell. Overdoes it. McDonald with a chance. Jardine, yes! 4-0.
From the day in 1967 when he scored in his Old Firm debut, Sandy Jardine stood for the traditions and the heritage of Rangers, endearing him to the fans and earning the respect of his fellow players. He is deservedly recognised as a great Ranger.
Inside forward, Smith. Jardine.
That's a goal by Jardine. It's a goal for Rangers. With 5 minutes to half time, that makes it Rangers 1, Celtic 0.
The number 3 jersey. You'll guess this one. 755 appearances, 120 goals, 5 league championships, 6 Scottish Cups, 4 League Cups, and the European Cup Winners' Cup. John Gregg.
John Gregg.
John Gregg is an icon of Rangers. He epitomises the Rangers philosophy. Always a hard yet fair player, he didn't know how to give up, no matter the opposition or the score. He's still working for the club and is naturally a candidate for the greatest Ranger of them all.
The referee waving play on. For a moment he gave the Celtic fans some hope there. He appeared to run to the spot, but waved play on. McDonald. McLean. Russell must score. Gregg in fact finishes it off.
Not a bad start. Let's go on to the number 4 jersey. Wearing number 4 in our greatest ever team. A player who played 427 times for the club. Scored 84 goals, 9 league championships, 3 Scottish Cups, 6 League Cup medals. Former captain Richard Gough.
Charlie header from Richard Gough when Rangers take the lead. Came for the corner kick and Alphonse for the outswinger. Gough coming in here, got such good elevation, Hughes couldn't get him.
The most successful Rangers captain in the club's history, Richard Gough will be remembered as a player of supreme dedication and determination. His devotion to the club was complete from the day he was signed by Graham Souness in 1987. A strong captain, he always led his defence by example, often being injured due to his intense desire to win the ball and prevent the opposition scoring. Even back in 1987, Richard seemed destined for great success when his first goal for the club was scored against Rangers' greatest rivals.
Ferguson
Anderson playing it wide for Durant. Rogan comes to meet him. Oh, that's good running by Durant. He's away from Rogan. The early ball inside. McCarthy did well with the header, but it's Durant again. The last chance perhaps for Rangers. The chance is on for Goff. Richard Goff makes it 2 apiece. And the final minute of the match. What incredible drama here at Ibrox.
Richard's first championship was won in 1989. It was to herald a remarkable series of championship victories, of which Richard's presence became almost constant, but certainly vital.
Gary Stevens hoisting the high one for Hadley. In comes Richard Goff! Oh, a captain's goal from Richard Goff!
Chance for Van Hooydonk. Great tackle by Goff. Right at the last seconds.
Richard had an iron will which never faltered in crucial situations. Always sound in defence, he could also move up into attack, his aerial supremacy giving Rangers another striking weapon.
Goff's up there with a header! And it's a goal from the captain, Richard Goff. Understanding between these two. Laudrup again showing great close control. Goff's there! And Richard Goff again leads by example. He gets his 6th goal of the season.
A towering header from Richard Goff and Rangers take the lead.
However, it will be the fact that he was a great captain and one of only 3 players to win 9 consecutive championship medals that will ensure the name of Richard Goff is carved in the history books of Rangers.
At number 5, 176 appearances and 11 goals. In the right direction. 3 league championships, 2 League Cup medals, the one and only Terry Butcher!
There's Cooper. There's Butcher. He scored. Butcher has scored for Rangers.
Yeah, you feel very humble. I mean, I stood on the stage and next to some really great players, and you do feel very humble, and you sort of wonder, what am I doing now? I only played for 4 years at the club, just over 4 years, and it was a pretty tempestuous 4 years as it was. But a lot of the players that were up there had given their whole life to the football club. And you know, it was very nice to have been voted by the supporters to be up there. But even if I wasn't on the stage, you know, just the fact that I had played for the club was very, very pleasing, and it's a very special memory that I'll always cherish.
When it was rumoured that the captain of the England international side was to be signed by Rangers, many people said it would never happen. But Graham Souness was determined to change the image of Scottish football, and a player of the calibre of Terry Butcher would possibly be his most important signing.
Oh, that is a free kick. Free kick to Rangers. Wilkins will take this. Is Butcher with it? It's in! Butcher, the equaliser.
Although not born a Rangers supporter, Terry quickly became wrapped up in Rangers and all it stood for. He rapidly earned the respect of his fellow players and supporters. In his first season, Rangers won the League Cup, but as always, the championship was of paramount importance. Rangers travelled to Aberdeen, knowing that a draw was all that was needed to win the league.
There's Cooper. There's Butcher. He scored. Butcher has scored for Rangers.
As captain, Terry was an immense influence in the team. His defensive presence was always outstanding, and his never-say-die attitude affected the whole squad. He wasn't expected to score goals, but his power was sometimes used to great effect in attack.
Butcher! Butcher for Rangers! 5 minutes gone! A dream start for Rangers! The presence, the physique, the heading ability of Terry Butcher exemplified with that tremendous effort. The power beat Pat Bonner.
Terry's style of play and commitment to the club rightly place him in the greatest Rangers side ever. Even today, he still remembers his Ibrox days with a sense of fulfilment.
And once you play for Rangers, you'll always be a teddy bear, as they say, but you'll always be part of that family. And to have been part of a Rangers squad, whether it be successful, whether it be relatively a poor side or a bad side or whatever, you're still part of it, and you still will always be classed as a former Rangers player. I think it's a good thing to have in your CV, but more importantly, it's a good thing to have in your heart, because Rangers Football Club will always be there.
Thousands upon thousands of Rangers fans from Govan to Guatemala voted for the greatest ever team, and just about everyone went for the same player to wear the number 6 jersey. 254 appearances and 24 goals, 3 league championships, 3 Scottish Cups and 4 League Cups. The number 6 jersey in the greatest Rangers team goes to Slim Jim Baxter.
There he is, Jim Baxter. So much fight in this Scottish side. Jim McCalliard leading it for Law again. Scotland slowing it down. Taking the mickey out of this England side.
Jim Baxter was probably the most individual player ever to pull on a blue jersey. His arrogant style had the Ibrox fans roaring for more, whether the opposition was Real Madrid or Wraith Rovers. Jim's career at Rangers began in 1960, and he became the keystone of the brilliant Ibrox team of 1960 to 65. He relished nothing greater than beating Celtic, which in those days happened regularly.
Here's that right, Scott taking the first corner. Davis has it. And it's a goal, yes! As I said already, he's Celtic's most dangerous forward. Baxter takes it. Baxter. Ferren coming over. Stott. Ferren still coming on. Baxter to Wilson. He's outside left. Bren. And it must be, yes,
in the 1963 Scottish Cup final, Rangers beat Celtic 3-0, but thanks to Baxter's skills it could easily have been more.
That's right for an exciting, tense cup final match. Touch on to Miller. Miller will pass to Henderson. Brand scores. Rolling it towards Craig. Baxter. Wilson. Miller. They will pass from Miller to Wilson. Miller. Brand, a shot on the corner of the ball into the net. An incredible goal by Ralph Brand.
Jim was also part of the treble-winning team of 1964. In the cup final they met Dundee. Only the outstanding performance of their goalkeeper Bert Slater prevented Rangers scoring until the final 2 minutes.
Play. Baxter coolly flicking the ball in towards McLean. McLean gets it to his left foot, turns it across to Baxter. A great chance here for Baxter to score. Stopped by Slater. Again Slater miraculously falls on it. No wonder Brand applauds. Henderson, over it comes. Miller heads it in. It's a goal! Miller has scored for Rangers. About 90 seconds to go. The free kick to Rangers. Henderson at outside left collects it from Baxter. Henderson inside the box, chips it to the far post. Miller's there. And the ball's in the net. Miller scores in the last minute for Rangers.
Unfortunately, very little footage of the Baxter genius still exists, although his exploits are still fresh in the memories of the older supporters. One great moment which has survived was the 1967 Scotland versus England match at Wembley, which Scotland won 3-2. The performance of Baxter that day has now become legendary.
Scotland slowing it down, taking the mickey out of this England side.
Such arrogance is hard to find today, and it's a testament to the skill and attitude of one of Rangers' greatest ever players, Jim Baxter.
The number 7 jersey goes to a player who played 150 times exactly in his Rangers career. He scored 44 goals. He won 3 league championships, a Scottish Cup and 4 League Cup medals. 1 League Cup medal. The number 7 jersey goes to the greatest non-Scot, Brian Laudrup.
Laudrup, he's got McCoist, he's got Hadley, Weir on the right. He decides to go it alone, brilliant play by Laudrup! Oh, magnificent goal!
It was amazing because I mean, as you say, you know, players from the present, but players from the past as well were there. Players that I've only watched on videotapes and on television, and as I say again, you know, it must be difficult to pick out 11 players because you could go back and mention some of the really old players that were there last night. So I think it's difficult to point out 11 players and pick them, but it was great to see that even, let's say, fans from let's say the 80s and 90s, they recognise players that played 20 or 30 or 40 years ago, and I thought that was great. And whether this is the best team ever, well, you can discuss that from now till next year. But nevertheless, it was a great honour to be in there.
Having already won the greatest non-Scot award and having played a key role in some of the 9-in-a-row victories, it was no surprise that he was included in the greatest team lineup. However, being voted the greatest non-Scot meant a great deal to Brian.
When the 3 nominees were mentioned, Mark Heatley, who I must admit I thought could win it because he's been a great servant for this club, and obviously Gascoigne, that speaks for itself. And when I was mentioned as perhaps the best player, foreign player to have played for Rangers, I was amazed and as I said, you know, speechless, because so many foreign players, great foreign players, have been playing for this club, have done extremely well. And if you look at some of the names, I'm very proud to be on top of that.
Like so many other great players, it's difficult to pick one single game that Brian excelled in more than any other. But his performance in the Scottish Cup semi-final in 1996 was outstanding.
Jury, Laudrup has sprung clear. Brian Laudrup, past Marshall, and Rangers feel they've got 1 foot in the final.
To chest the ball, then take only 1 touch to beat the goalkeeper, shows the ultimate in control and confidence. But Brian had both in abundance.
Laudrup goes inside again. He has Anderson waiting in the middle with McCoist. Anderson. Laudrup again. He's onside. Genius again from Laudrup.
Miller's cross is a good one. That hits Laudrup. It's a classic from Laudrup.
Yeah, I think sometimes perhaps people think that when a foreign player says, "Oh, I love to play for this club," and they think, "Oh, it's just for the for the papers and for television." But I said when I left Rangers that Rangers would always have a special place in my heart, and I felt like that last night as well, and that tells you that I've got special feelings for this club, and I enjoyed every minute of my 4-year stay here. And sometimes you can always look back and say, I would like to enjoy that again and play with the same players again. But that was an era, and that's over. But I was very proud to be part of that.
The number 8. That phrase rings a bell, doesn't it? The number 8 played 103 times and scored 39 goals. He won 2 league titles, a Scottish Cup and a League Cup. And the Rangers' greatest ever team, Paul Gascoigne.
Laudrup, wide for Alberts. There's Gascoigne!
It was an emotional return to Glasgow for Paul Gascoigne. His love for the Ibrox club is well documented, and he was welcomed like a prodigal son by the supporters. It's only fitting he received such a reception, because Paul Gascoigne at his peak was simply one of the greatest players in the world. It was a brilliant decision by Walter Smith to sign him in 1995, as was proved in his first league goal against Celtic.
Easily by McLaren, 2 against 2 up front here. Solenko and McCoy together. That's good play by Solenko. McCoy says Gascoigne racing through the middle. It's great play for Rangers, and Gascoigne has scored! It's a magnificent goal by Gascoigne!
Paul was arguably the most naturally gifted player to play for Rangers. He could not only make scoring goals look easy, but command the midfield as well and set up goal-scoring chances for others.
Gascoigne started it, wants to get involved further forward from Cleland's pass. He's done well to hook it across, but Marshall should make it his against McCoy. Gascoigne. The jury for Gascoigne, he's taken it on, and it lacked only the finish.
In his first season, he was a revelation, scoring 14 league goals despite missing some games through injury. However, in the league clincher that year, he showed what he could do in the most spectacular fashion.
There's Gascoigne now, can he produce some magic? Still it's Gascoigne! Oh yes! A tremendous goal by Gascoigne! He's clear through in goal. And then Dean Winders hit a header which was touched over by Gorham. It's been very evenly balanced. Here's Gascoigne now, pushing forward, showing great determination! Oh, he's done it again! It's unbelievable! Well, I could say he was perhaps keeping something for the closing stages. He had gone a bit quiet, but he was obviously keeping something for a lung-busting run. He goes right through the defence, and what a marvellous finish! Rangers 2, Aberdeen 1, and they're on course for 8th in a row. It's Gascoigne who's going to take this one, and Gascoigne has already scored from the penalty spot. This for the hat-trick in the Championship.
Such outrageous displays of talent dispelled any doubts the critics might have had about bringing Paul to Ibrox. During the following season, his performances were to be just as outstanding.
As Gascoigne breaks into a shooting position, he's done it! The spark of genius again, just what is required. Well, can Hearts come back again? Here's Gascoigne once more. Oh, he's done it again! It's a remarkable play by Gascoigne. He's won the cup without question for Rangers.
Paul Gascoigne was indeed a genius when it came to football. He could score goals, he could run a game from the midfield, and also be a great provider. But it's his personality and his sparkle on the pitch which Rangers fans will no doubt miss the most.
This is McCoist. Gascoigne's kept moving forward here. Great play by Gascoigne.
The Celtic players can't believe it, and Gascoigne might punish them now on the counter-attack. Celtic are thin at the back. Laudrup wide for Alberts. There's Gascoigne!
Just 3 to go, ladies and gentlemen, to make up Rangers' greatest ever team. The number 9 shirt, and how many great contenders there are for that jersey. This guy played 581 games and scored 355 goals, the all-time top league scorer for the club. 8 league championships, a Scottish Cup, no fewer than 9 League Cup medals. Alistair McCoist.
And the 189th Hillsborough League game gets underway. That is the quickest free kick I think I've seen in an Old Firm match. Well, there's a great goal! Ali McCoist, right out the blue, right through the Celtic defence, 27 seconds.
As we've already seen, Ali's record for Rangers has been simply breathtaking. The greatest striker the club has known, his ability to make scoring look easy, belied his great positional awareness and goal-scoring ability. A definite candidate for the greatest Ranger ever.
Away though by McPherson. Now it's Durant. Good ball through to Ali McCoist, who's onside. McCoist! 2-1 to Rangers!
Number 10. 222 games, 115 goals, 5 championships, 2 Scottish Cups, 3 League Cup medals. The number 10 shirt for Mark Hateley.
The early cross, there's Hateley. It's a magnificent goal for Rangers. 5 minutes from half-time.
To the opposition, Mark was one of the most fearful players on the pitch. His strength and aerial dominance meant that he could so often decimate defences and score.
Well, it's played on well by Hateley for Johnston. Here's Hateley again, switching to his left foot. It's a second for Rangers. It's Mark Hateley once again. And Pat Bonner is utterly dejected.
It's a great honour. I mean, to even be in the category, even to be able to be, have played for Rangers. I think it's a great honour, and as I say, to be voted in the best 11 is for me, you know, one of the top accolades I've had, especially playing for such a great club. I mean, I played for big clubs, Milan and Monaco, but nothing as big as this.
Mark wasn't simply the big target man for long balls to be hit into the area for. He had excellent ball control and a deceptive turn of speed, allowing him to score in almost any situation.
A superb finish by Hateley. Hateley's ball inside, picked up by McCall. It's fine play by Hateley. His pace is good enough here. It's a great chance for Rangers. That was brilliant. The goal of supreme quality by Mark Hateley. McCall. Here's Hateley, he's in the clear. It's a great chance for Rangers. Hateley against Bonner. Brilliant play from Hateley. Rangers take the lead. Ecstasy there for Hateley. 5-goal deficit. And now the header from Hateley. That's the thought for Mark Hateley. This is Spencer. Now McCoist. Again, Hateley getting up well to that. No answer this time from the St Johnstone defence.
He loses out there to McSwagan. This is Durant playing it through for Hateley. The chance on now for McCall. Hateley's header. Oh, that's magnificent. That's a great header by Hateley for his second goal of the game.
Mark's presence was extremely valuable to the team. In him, they knew they had a powerful player whose focus was so sharp that he let little or nothing stand in his way. Even now, Mark looks back with great affection to his days at Ibrox, for the great camaraderie of the team and, of course, the reaction he got from the Rangers supporters.
Oh, it's a big part of my career, big part of my life. I had great times here, lots of good friends here. As I say, it's an amazing place to play, an amazing set of supporters. You know, I love playing for, and, you know, I've always admired. So I said to David Morby, I thanked him for giving me the chance to play for Rangers, and you know, I say it a lot, but you know, it's a heartfelt thing when I do say it. I mean, it's as I say, I've been around and I've played a few places, but this is number one for me.
Walters wants to bring the ball down and take on Wright. Going for the early cross, there's Hateley! It's a magnificent goal for Rangers! 5 minutes from half-time and Ibrox erupts.
And finally, ladies and gentlemen, to make up Rangers' greatest ever team, the number 11 jersey to a player who played 540 times for the club. He scored 75 goals, won 3 league titles, 3 Scottish Cups and 7 League Cup medals. He was taken from us far too soon. Davy Cooper.
Roberts is dictating things. That's brilliantly struck by Davy Cooper.
The number 11 award was collected by Davy's brother John in recognition of Davy's contribution to the success of Rangers in his 12 years at the club. Davy's left foot was legendary, allowing him to dazzle defenders, often leaving them in his wake. But he was never afraid of taking on the responsibility of going for goal himself.
Cooper shaping to take this. Jordan's there and Forsyth.
In recognition of Davy's contribution to the success of Rangers in his 12 years at the club. Davy's left foot was legendary, allowing him to dazzle defenders, often leaving them in his wake. But he was never afraid of taking on the responsibility of going for goal himself.
Cooper shaping to take this. Jordan's there and Forsyth. Oh, what a goal! Oh! Clean as a whistle, 2-1. Cooper. Marenga. Beautiful performance by Cooper, and it's in, it's a goal, the equaliser. Brilliant run by Cooper. Good run by the fullback. Ferguson and Harvey Russell. Here's Cooper. He scored. Now that was clinical finishing as well.
Such performances are only a part of his great career, and therefore he was naturally one of the 3 nominees for the greatest Ranger of them all.
I don't know what you can say about that lineup, ladies and gentlemen. I think you'd have paid an awful lot of money to see these 11 guys in a Rangers jersey all at the same time. The greatest Rangers team ever.
And so it came to the moment when the supporters would choose their greatest Ranger. It was not an easy task to pick only one from the greatest players of the past.
And it goes to Cooper going in Philippi. Cooper's still there, wants to chip across, that must be, yes! Derek Johnston. 25 minutes gone. Celtic 0, Rangers 1.
Chance for Van Hooydonk. Great tackle by Goff. Richard Goff saved the day, without question for Rangers. Ball breaks for McCall. Kathy Stearns, there's Sinis. Oh, great play from Sinis. Absolutely masterly from the Rangers player manager.
Celtic, the challenge scorer through Van Hooydonk. He seems to be disguising his intentions. And Vaughan drops to it with outstretched arms and strong fists.
And the Tuesday against Moscow, then it was the Tuesday or the Wednesday we played. And I had the chance that day, or the luck that day, to score the penalty kick. Poor Willie next door, he knew this one. But it was good to see Big Smith kick. I got close to the ball and black me for the first one, and the second one I got the penalty kick, and then a minute from time Charlie Watkins hit the post. Very, very unfortunate not to win that day. But the Russians didn't take much time to get way back home to Russia after that.
There's a flip by O'Neill, and Laudrup to win. Rangers look for a goal and get one! In the 8th minute from Brian Laudrup.
Rangers were rewarded just before half-time when Wilson, who'd already had a goal disallowed, got their second.
Here's Ferguson. McDonald. To McMinn. Oh, this is a mistake. Cooper's got it with a chance to score. David Cooper gets the equaliser for Rangers.
In fact, Rangers were by far the more aggressive team throughout. Brand got there first in the 7th minute.
Play by Russell. Greg might think about a shot. Plays a shot one. Greg still going and scoring! Henderson on the left wing. It's goal! Yes! The Miller has scored! And by the Mulligan over the bar. On to Forrest. Henderson of Rangers. And a goal! Goal by Henderson. Look at the weaver. Well, that's one right out of the bag. Well, if he does that to Celtic end, they'll sure get a reception. Forced to hurry there, break from the ball, that's McCoist inside, that's for Ali McCoist, and Rangers are ahead! There's Ritchie taking his first goal kick. McMillan, Brand to McMillan, through to Henderson, beautiful pass. Game nearing its end, McLean to Jordan. Here's Russell. Overdoes it. McDonald with a chance. Jordan, yes!
4-0. In third place, a man who is truly a great Ranger. He wasn't just Rangers through and through. He didn't just love the club. He was somebody that was very much a part of the club for all the years he was with us, and when he left Rangers, he took a bit of the club with him in his heart. He had fabulous skill. He had that rare talent that very few players have. He could turn nothing into a goal by a movement, a pass, a turn of speed. He was a goal maker. He was a goal scorer. He was everything that Rangers could have asked from one of their true greats. The only tragedy is that he cannot be here with us tonight. And yet I'm sure that in this hall here tonight is the third place in the greatest ever Ranger, the late, truly great, Davy Cooper.
The task of finding a way past that United wall. And he's made it!
Davy Cooper never hid his loyalty to Rangers. All his life he had been a supporter, and it was always his ambition to play for the club. His skill on the ball was truly exceptional, making him a formidable opponent for any defender to cope with. But the power of his left foot from a set piece was awesome.
Roberts is dictating things. That's brilliantly He's stopped by Davy Cooper.
His tragic death at the age of 39 not only robbed football of one of its greatest talents, but also took away a man of humility and great compassion. It's unlikely we'll ever see his likes again.
I make it 5.5 minutes remaining of the Skull Cup final. Penalty to Rangers. 2-1.
I'd just like to thank everybody for voting for David. He was a true Ranger. He supported Rangers as a boy all through school, and when he played for Rangers, that was his dream come true. He was a man of few words. He liked to do his talking on the football park, and I'll do the same. I just wish I was sitting down there watching him like this. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, in second place, a man who is here tonight, a man who has been the bane of my existence throughout all the years I've been involved with the board of Rangers Football Club. He has never missed an opportunity to tell me how good he is. I never missed an opportunity to remind him of how many goals he actually missed. But again, if you want to think of somebody whose heart is with Rangers, and who has Rangers in his heart, then it is the second place in the greatest ever Ranger. Who else but the Super One himself, Alistair McCoist.
Super Ali thoroughly deserves his accolade. The boy from East Kilbride, who was signed for his favourite team by John Gregg, became one of the Rangers' greats. He not only scored goals, but was always an ambassador for the club wherever he went. His goal scoring's legendary, sometimes scoring a goal from seemingly nothing, getting into positions to make it look easy.
Here's Dale Gold. This is a good chance for Rangers. Right on a half-time whistle. Cross the headlight. Here's McCoist!
Although Ali McCoist has moved on, his heart will always be at Ibrox.
I can't believe it. I nearly wasn't get allowed to say something there. If I could just be very brief, I want to tell you my greatest moment with Rangers, and I've been very, very privileged and proud to play with some great men, but my greatest moment with Rangers, and it probably surprised a few of you, was when we were defeated by Hearts in the Scottish Cup final last season, and we were in the dressing room, all the boys, after, and a few of us were leaving, and the gaffer came in, Walter came in and said a few words, and I've never seen so many grown men on their way to talk to each other in tears, because we knew it was the end for some of us in an era for Rangers Football Club. But the great thing was that Rangers Football Club will always continue to prosper, because we are a people. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, amidst many great players, this man is truly the greatest ever Ranger. Like Willie Waddle, he served this club in every single capacity. He always gave 100% for the club. And I can tell you that since the day he joined Rangers Football Club to this very day, he does nothing, he says nothing, he takes no decision without wondering how it will affect this club. This club means everything to him, and it is right that he means everything to this club. If you have a son who wants to play football, there's only one man who can be the true mentor, who can actually show what it is like to show loyalty, determination and courage. And this man had them all, and he had some more. He is also a great and dear personal friend, and I, like you, love him more than I can say. He deserves his title. The legend himself, the greatest ever Ranger, John Gregg.
No one could have doubted that John Gregg would win this award. He was the only player to win 3 trebles and was one of the greatest captains ever. In fact, it's impossible to separate Rangers and John Greig, but even he was almost overwhelmed by this occasion.
Still trying to accept the importance of the award, and the day after it's still to sink in, Gordon. You've been a player here yourself, you know what it's like. I think when all these players started walking into the room last night, it makes you feel very humble, and really to be spoken in the same breath as some of these guys would have been enough for me, let alone win this award.
Ralph Brand and Jimmy Miller used to share the daily train journey from Edinburgh with the young John Greig. Their stories of great Rangers matches inspired the youngster when he played in his first Old Firm match in January 1963.
Here's Greig coming in, on to Brand. Greig again, it's a goal, and that makes it 3. Inside forward, Greig has made it Rangers 3, Celtic 0.
John was a hard tackler, but never dirty, always defending strongly, especially against Celtic, and he often began moves which allowed others to score.
Rangers have beaten Celtic 4 times already this season. Greig on to Forrest. Henderson of Rangers. And a goal! Goal by Henderson!
But it's as captain that John will be remembered. His determination to keep fighting until the very end, no matter the scoreline, proved his spirit and dedication for Rangers. That attitude was best demonstrated in 1975, when although injured, he played in the league clincher to stop Celtic winning 10 in a row.
Play by Jordan. A good pass forward to McKean. McKean going on the outside, getting it across. Chance for Steele and a goal!
That championship victory was the first for 10 years. As captain of Scotland and Rangers, John could have moved on to virtually any club, but to the relief of the support, he remained at Ibrox.
The Rangers supporters appreciated what I was trying to do, and I think they appreciated why I stayed. And like I knew within myself that the times would change. But while the team was going through the transitional period, you just had to roll your sleeves up a bit higher and get on with it.
Times did change. In the 1970s, Rangers won 2 trebles with John as captain.
Young with it. And that's it. Super now Johnston. Wants to cut it back and Murphy Smith gets. And again. And there it goes. John Greig with the ball at the final. Rangers have won the championship.
In John Greig, the Rangers supporters had their hero. He stuck with them through the bad times and saw his faith in the club pay off. His greatest moment in Europe came in 1972. Rangers won the European Cup Winners' Cup by beating Moscow Dynamo in Barcelona after victory over Rennes, Sporting Lisbon, Torino, and in the semi-final the mighty Bayern Munich. However, it's as a true blue in every sense that John Greig will be celebrated as the greatest Ranger.
I'm obviously very proud to stand here this evening and accept this award. I would just like to say, first of all, though, I was very fortunate when I was a player to receive a few awards, and I've always felt that football was a team game. And I would like to take this opportunity publicly to thank every player that I played with in a blue jersey. Many of them...
Pay off. Pay off. His greatest moment in Europe came in 1972. Rangers won the European Cup Winners' Cup by beating Moscow Dynamo in Barcelona after victory over Rennes, Sporting Lisbon, Torino, and in the semi-final the mighty Bayern Munich. However, it's as a true blue in every sense that John Greig will be celebrated as the greatest Ranger.
I'm obviously very proud to stand here this evening and accept this award. I I would just like to say, first of all, though, I was very fortunate when I was a player to receive a few awards, and I've always felt that football was a team game. And I would like to take this opportunity publicly to thank every player that I played with in a blue jersey. Many of them are sitting out there tonight, and without you lads, I couldn't have been standing here accepting an award. I'd also like to thank everybody who take the trouble of voting for everybody, because I don't think there's any losers. I think it's a privilege to play for an institution like Glasgow Rangers Football Club. I don't usually talk like this, but I'm usually a very private man as far as my family's concerned, but my family's been with me, especially my wife, all through my career at Ibrox. And particularly a year ago when I got a wee fright, I saw Coisty go into his pocket and buying a drink. But I'm absolutely delighted that my wife's had the opportunity to come this evening, along with my son, and join in what is really a special night for me and my family. And I thank you once and for all that. Finally, I'd just like to say that in how many years I've got left to serve the club, I hope I can continue to do so with the same dignity and the honour in which the supporters have shown to me tonight. And it's always been a pleasure, and I hope it will be a pleasure for the rest of the time for it to be associated with Rangers Football Club. Thank you.
Russell, Greg might think about a shot, plays a shot, one, Greg still going, and